Give me an overreaction.
Okay, ready for this, Stephen A?
Oh, Lord.
I was alive. I didn't know a lot about what was going on. I was 9, 10 years old. 1983, John Elway,
Okay.
Jim Kelly, Dan Marino. And I certainly knew what was going on when there was Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger, right? Those were great drafts. I'm going to say this. Watching on Saturday, watching this weekend, these guys, and I've never said this before, watching a preseason game number 1 ever. This has a chance. This could be the greatest quarterback draft class of all time. Of all time. I think the worst guy I saw, and this wasn't this weekend because they played earlier, but Mac Jones was probably the least impressive guy I saw, and I would give him between a good and a very good. I think he's ready to play in the NFL right now.
This is your man Who Did It this time, coming at you with another episode of Oh How They Forgot. And on this one, we're going to concentrate on Mr. Max Kellerman and his outlandish comments that this draft class of 2021 could be the best draft class of quarterbacks ever. Now, let's start off with the comment of could be. Now, when you say something could be, he has every right. That's his opinion. And that's what makes him, I guess, the big bucks. You know, I wish him the best in his endeavors, even though he's not my cup of tea. But a man has a right to earn for his family the best way that he knows how. But these comments are why ESPN, Fox Sports, CNN at times, and even some of our local news stations are damn near baseless at this point. And there are people that may have not went to school for mass communications with a concentration of broadcasting and all of your fancy resumes. But if anybody can just wake up and say this could be, every year they're going to be saying that. And I just don't want you to forget 2 significant draft classes with an honorable mention to. First and foremost, how can we forget the 1983 draft class with Kelly, Dan Marino, guys like that who just put the ball in the air. And when it comes to throwing, these guys could have been in the Major League Baseball. Elway. All of these guys could be drafted in the majors too for baseball. And Marino and Jim Kelly are Pennsylvania guys, so I always want to send them a shout out. And I could be being biased because that's my state, obviously. But all jokes aside, Dan Marino might be the most gifted thrower of football outside of Warren Moon. And now you could throw Patrick Mahomes in that we've ever seen. But for you to come out and say ever, look, I am not a fan of the draft class of Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger at all. But when you just look at the consecutive wins, playoff bursts, and playoff appearances, and stat sheets, Phillip Rivers, Eli, and Ben Roethlisberger, that's tough, and that's only 3 guys. We could easily go to Goff. What's the young man that keeps getting hurt that was drafted from Wentz, as well as Dak Prescott a couple years ago? They were saying that was the best draft class. These guys selling. But I want the masses to understand that this is why us people who enjoy watching football collectively as a team sport, the linebacker, the nose tackle, the 5 technique, the 7 technique, your X and Z receivers, your slot receiver, your specialists, your flankers, your punt returners. We enjoy watching football. It is not all about the quarterback, even though we understand how important it is for the quarterback to be above average for you to hoist that Lombardi trophy at the end of the day. You gotta have one. But if every year all these guys are the best that we've ever seen, Fields and the young man who was taken first for Jacksonville, if they're already the best we've ever seen based off of 1 week, then why are these people that are called scouts, talent scouts, being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars if all you really got to do is go to a big institution and you're it? I mean, I can mention some guys, but I feel like mentioning them to be bust at this point, might be kind of unnecessary, but I need people to understand that Danny Warfel was supposed to be the best ever. Chris Winkie, Frost from Nebraska, Tim Couch, Johnny Manziel, my boy from Ohio State, Troy Smith, who I believe didn't really get a fair chance, Dennis Dixon from Oregon. The list goes on, man. Quarterback in the NFL is one of the most complicated positions in all of employment, not just sports. The playbook is as thick as an encyclopedia, and reading the defenses. And for you to come out and make an asinine comment like that, saying that this draft class based off of, no disrespect, a different era of football where you can't even hit the guys like you used to could. These guys, these select few, will be the best ever. You know, I want to make sure that I ease up because he said they could be. But I'm here to tell you that it's a little bit premature to already state that. But it's not just myself, man. There's other platforms on this thing called YouTube and Patreon. We're not sitting here trying to stop any man from getting his hustle on and becoming a great quarterback. But when you say a whole draft class, who, no disrespect, man, we just saw Tim Tebow get cut at playing tight end for his second stint at the NFL, by the way. Y'all did that. This is the NFL, man, not for long. First of all, you have to be blessed from the Most High to not go to a terrible organization. You know, that has a lot to do with the development of a quarterback, the organization you're selected to. Then some people call it luck. I call it fortune. You can't get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, some of these guys get hurt and they don't tell you about, you know, the fractures and the sprains that they have until they're fully retired. I.e. Andrew Luck. Can we forget that draft? I don't want to forget that draft class, pardon me. Andrew Luck and RG3. They came out the same time. Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. And there was another guy that had came out that same year. We've seen them come, we've seen them go. But this is why Max Kellerman is becoming bland. And Skip Bayless is becoming baseless. And guys like Shannon Sharp are full of hyperbole. And Nick Wrongs and all these other guys. It's comments like that as men. It's a bullshit detector. Pardon my language. You don't have a right to say that already. This is the NFL, man. Just because Justin Fields completed a couple passes against the second team Miami Dolphins defensive backs, I'm supposed to say this guy's already the next Warren Moon? This is where it becomes almost foolery. But I don't want y'all to forget these other draft class, man. 83, 2004 with Eli, Ben, and Rivers. I'm sure you guys have other draft classes of quarterbacks, but we could just keep it as draft classes of players. 2000. That was a heck of a draft class. But they do this to the game of football. Y'all can do that in the NBA, man. Y'all can really do that. But this is the NFL. Week by week, teams make adjustments. And I just don't want y'all to forget that, man. So this is your man who did it this time, coming at you with another episode of Oh How They Forgot. The draft class of 83 and the draft class of 04. I hope you all are doing great, man. Continue to be careful out here. As you all are aware, man, there's a lot of sickness, both mentally and physically, but make sure that you really watch over your spiritual health. That's the most important thing. And I hope you guys are checking out the other series as well. God bless.